Hello?
Hello, Jughead. This is Archie. Come over right away. It's a matter of life or death.
Oh, relax, Archie.
Attention, all true believers. Marvel Comics is on the air.
A friend of the unfortunate, enemy of criminals. In reality, Dan Garrett, a rookie patrolman, loved by everyone but suspected by none of being the Blue Beetle.
Boys and girls, your attention, please. Presenting a new exciting radio program featuring the thrilling adventures of an amazing and incredible personality.
Faster than an airplane, more powerful than a locomotive, impervious to bullets.
Up in the sky, look!
It's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman!
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Christopher, aka the Bronze Age Nerd, and I'm joined, as always, by
hockey legend Wayne Gretzky.
It's really an honor to have you here tonight, Mr. Gretzky. I can't believe it. I didn't even know you were going to be on the show. I have no questions prepared.
Just happy to be here. No, Big B McFly, the comic guy. You know, you guys probably getting tired of me being silly, but you know.
At this point, it's tradition, man. I'd be worried if you didn't change up the intro. Welcome to the show, everybody. As always, you know, when we start off the show, I just want to remind everybody we are streaming on a few different channels. Both Big B McFly, the comic book guy, and the Bronze Age Nerd YouTube channels are getting the stream right now. You might be watching over there. You also could be watching over on the EXP YouTube channel or their Facebook page, or you could be watching over on Twitch. Maybe you're watching on Instagram, all those great places. The EXP is an awesome collection of comic book related shows, like a lot of claim sales, original art shows, comic book industry news shows, all kinds of stuff over there. So definitely go subscribe over there. If you're watching on the EXP, hey, just wanted to say what's up. Thanks for being there. We are going to say hello to everybody in the chat. We've got a Derek coming in as first. Derek. So we've got another changing of the guard here.
Yeah.
There's always been this race for first comment, and it's usually been GT Key Comic. And it depends. I don't know what channel. The one thing about StreamYard, where we stream the show from, I can't actually tell if this is from one of the channels or all the channels, but it looks like Derek was first on one of them. So congratulations, Derek. GT Key Comic coming in, holding it up for a couple more of the channels. Richard gets bronze medal this time. Hey, Richard, congratulations. You got that coveted bronze medal.
The coveted bronze.
Coveted bronze. Just like me. And then huge shout out to Sickotron blowing up the chat. I mean, these are each you might think I'm highlighting the same message over and over. No, those are all different messages.
He's excited to be here. Thank you for being here.
Ready? He's ready. He's got rockets, countdown and dancing. Different almost looks like web markup codes or something like that. And different emojis that aren't translating.
YouTube codes for little animations or something.
Yeah, they're little emojis that don't translate to the StreamYard chat, basically.
Gotcha.
Yeah, right. In case you didn't know, kind of a big deal. Yeah, that's not so much.
I disagree.
But we love the enthusiasm for sure. And yeah, as our esteemed producer was saying there, please be sure to hit the like, share, sub, and bell buttons. I appreciate that for all those channels that we're streaming to as well, because that's really important for them. Hydra Asylum in the chat. What's up, Hydra Asylum?
Our esteemed producer is not just anonymous, though.
He's kind of cheating, but we don't mind.
His name is Jay.
Lords of Brooklyn coming in. He's gonna kind of hit us up early here for what the topic of the day is. This is gonna be a really fun topic. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about our weeks. We're going to talk a little bit about what we picked up comic book wise, or what we've been reading, or what we've been watching, that kind of stuff. But right after that first, little kind of intro segment, we're going to get to our main topic, which is crossovers we'd like to see in comic books. I think it's going to be a really fun topic. Just kind of one of the, we've kind of been doing some really nerdy topics recently, best fighter, who's your favorite, team lineup, that kind of stuff. This is another one of those. It's going to be really fun. Can't wait to talk about it. Batman versus Iron Man. It's a pretty fun one right there.
Tony Stank versus Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, we got the billionaire bash up. Forgot to switch accounts. Hey, we appreciate all those views. We don't discriminate. Jimmy G, comic guy. Oh, we got a competitor for the comic book guy title there. No, just kidding. What's up, Jimmy G? How's it going? No, you're all good. You're all good. Yes, we're on Twitch. You can actually watch on Twitch if you want to. Oh, dude, that's so kind. Yeah, I had one video kind of go nuts, and I am like knocking on 5,000 subscribers.
Yeah, you guys, let's get him there.
Yeah, I think I'm like 15 or 16 away now, so that's really fun. Ooh, Eddie, that's a really good one. Battle of Planets and Voltron. Yeah, Voltron made it.
I like that one.
I like that. Look at the camera quality. Oh, is the streaming quality better on Twitch?
Well, we want people to watch on YouTube, but you know.
Well, honestly, wherever they want to watch, I'm fine with it.
Right.
I mean, really, the trick is get a bunch of virtual machines going on your computer and different VPNs and just watch from everywhere. Really, I mean, that
would be awesome.
No competition. I do baseball cards now. I was just playing. If I had a dollar for every YouTuber that's in comic books that had bronze in their name, I swear I did a search before I made my channel. I'm like, nobody's got Bronze Age Nerd, right? No, lots of people do. Lots of people got bronze. Oh, nice to know. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Eddie says, I've been bugging to bug Nick. That's Nick Barucci, by the way, of Dynamite Comics, if you don't know. And Dynamite
Voltron crossover.
That'd be sweet. Yeah. I think I remember you commenting something like that when we did our little show with him, where he came on for his 15-minute, 1 hour long interview. Not an exaggeration, by the way.
I'll make some notes of what people are saying so we can talk.
I appreciate that
later.
I very much appreciate that. So yeah, we each have, Bigby and I both came with a list of, half a dozen or so each crossovers. Seeing his list, I kind of riffed on a couple ideas real fast where I'm like, oh, close to that would be this and this, So I think we're probably going to react.
I inspired you, huh? There we go.
Actually, I saw your list afterwards, but
okay.
Yeah, I definitely thought of a couple after looking at your list for sure. So yeah, you always inspire me. No, that is. I don't think Eddie Von B is Eddie's mullet of economics and comics chat fame, Synchrotron. Different Eddie.
I
D-Light,
agree about that too.
Yeah.
But I think some cool crossovers could inspire some great stories. So
for sure, and that's part of the setup here. Is honestly a lot of crossovers in comics. Do I want to say this? I kind of want to say that they suck, but it's more that they're very formulaic and they don't really ever rise above like the setup, right? Like you get excited, you're like, oh, these characters and these characters, I can't wait. And then it's like,
right.
Yay. They're on the same page, technically. Hey, what's up, Garfwong? Yeah, hello to everybody in the chat. Hey, what's up, Awesome Sauce? Good to see you here as well. Thor versus for the front rhyme alone. I like that. That'd be a good one. Very cool. So I know Bigby was all like before the show, he was like, oh, we got to show off stuff we picked up, man. We got to show off stuff we picked up. You got to see what I got. And so he's really excited to show some stuff off. So I think
I haven't got any books like basically all year. I've got like 2 books. To this last like 48 hours, I picked up a stack of books. I was happy.
So you'd like to show those off, is what you're saying?
Yeah, that'd be fun. I mean, as long as everybody else enjoys it.
I enjoy it. Yeah. Oh, right. I did the wrong thing there.
Whoa.
Wah. There we go.
Wah. So I think I told you guys I got a giveaway thing of like a Mario video game, and then somebody was going to trade me some Thor books. So these came today.
Nice.
Yeah, so Journey into Mystery. Journey into Mystery.
Those look pretty crispy from what I can tell.
Yeah, this one's pretty rough, but still a cool cover.
Right on.
Got some writing on the planet. Some Bambi claimed Earth for herself.
Oh, well, congratulations, Bambi. Can't believe you would take that from her.
This one's a cool one. Love that cover.
Ooh, nice.
There is a lot of Kirby in this stuff that I got. So Super Scroll.
Are you working on, like, I can't really tell. Are you kind of working on a Thor run a little bit, or you kind of just, it came your way?
I just love like Silver Age books. And so like if when people ask me if I want to do trading, my first question is, what do you have like Silver Age wise? So there's a cool Galactus one.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's an iconic one, right?
And
what issue number was that? Like 115 or something? What is it?
168 for the
168.
Galactus
Okay.
one. Yep. And then I went over last night and hung out with my friend Travis for dinner, and we did some artwork afterwards. And then in the morning, he was going to be doing a Whatnot show at 7:30. So I just crashed on his couch and hung out with him for his Whatnot show. And he's going to be doing Whatnot 7:30 every morning, you guys, all week. And nobody bid on anything. I was the only one who bought anything. There was like a lot of people in the room, but nobody was doing any bidding. So I just started going like, okay, for $3. So
it's kind of like our last claim sale.
Yeah. So I got
oh, nice.
Joe 26, Joe 30. All these were $3. Joe 42.
Oh, right on. I still need that one.
No, I'll put it in your bin. Joe 47. It just got to a point where it's like he would just I'd be like bid.
Yeah. It's pretty easy to get automatic on that, you know, and luckily like you guys are close, so you were able to see the local pickup thing too, right?
Yeah, yep. So that's a cool Godzilla one. That's brand new, I think. But this one was pretty sweet.
Yeah, there's a lot of good Zach in the G.I. Joe run. Oh yeah, that's J. Scott Campbell, right?
Yeah, J. Scott Campbell. Hello.
Nice. I was just thinking about Hella earlier. I was trying to think like cross her over with like Lady Death or something.
That's some Silver Age. Yeah, nice. I mean, mid-grade, like
yeah,
for $3.
high grade for its time, for sure.
For its price, for sure, right?
Yeah, and yeah, exactly.
Right. So
I've got some Rawhide Kid if you want to put together like a nice little.
And then something completely different. Transformers.
Oh yeah.
Cool Starscream cover.
Who's the character in the background of that one?
I believe it's Bruticus.
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay. It looked all blue, but I could see the.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good.
Just go by so quick.
No, you're all good.
And then he threw this in because he had some Alias. So he gave me the Marvel's Greatest #1 because I picked up. He had Alias #2 and Alias #3. So I'll pick those up.
Were any of those Rawhide Kids Kirby?
No, those two weren't Kirby, but there's going to be more Kirby coming up. And then I think, so this is a limited edition Kid Venom #1. Which
there you go, Cyclotron. He's a huge Venom fan.
Thought it was kind of cool. I think it's a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive cover.
Oh, right on.
And then a bunch of Peach Momoko variants. So
all right,
I guess they're called kimono variants. They're the characters in Japanese kimonos. So NYX.
I like look at new releases most weeks, and those still I miss those.
Scarlet Witch.
That's a pretty good one. I like the colors on that one.
Storm.
Man, her art has grown on me a lot.
Yeah, I was just like, and these last two are my favorite of the Momokas. This one I thought this was amazing. So it's Venom and like a kimono, like a samurai kimono thing there. So.
That actually, there's been a lot of gold in Venom's color recently with that new costume, and that's actually one of my favorite looks I've seen of it so far.
Yeah,
that was stylized.
Cool. And then this one was really cool, the White Queen.
Oh yeah.
And I think this one might have been in one of your videos, but price was great.
Nope, that one is well, it's from one of the Hulk packs, right?
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
limited to 1,000 Red Hulk #1 Virgin variant or whatever. So
Gotcha. Yeah, specifically, I was just kind of like talking about the Hulk packs in general, but yeah, there was some great stuff in there.
yeah, and then this was limited to 175.
Interesting.
Yeah, Deadpool Wolverine #1 by who's this? Ivan Tao. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot of glare on that one, but I finally got.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. There you go.
There you go.
All the black on the cover is tough because once it hits the glare, it's just like, love Ivan.
That one was not $3. That one was a little more. But he had that was one of the last things he sold. So he had a giveaway, and he kept putting more and more foil special covers and stuff, and it was highest bidder was going to get this big giveaway at the end. Then at the end, he was like putting up some bigger books, like, hey, if you guys want to catch up to Brian, here's some big books you can bid. And nobody bid, and I bid on them. And so anyway, I ended up getting. These are all like reward things for bidding. So,
oh, that's a cool one.
Yeah, so really cool Starscream cover.
I love the like 80s style grid on the bottom.
Yeah, this is the foil of that too, so that's cool.
Right on.
And then this one is sweet. This is a foil one too.
Oh, interesting. I don't think I've ever seen any of those. Those were cool.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet. And then I don't know. Have you seen these ones? These are who's the artist on this? Dan Panosian.
Yes,
the White Queen ones. Yeah, so
cool. Dude, White Queen is so hot. Ever since she got announced that she's going to be in Rivals, she's been so hot right now.
Yeah, so I got the Virgin and the regular. That these were, like I said, these were all rewards for being the high bidder. Limited to 1,000. One World Under Doom, Venomized Doom cover.
Right on. Yeah, I love Panosian stuff, man. He does a good job. Those X-Men are sweet.
And then the foil, Absolute Martian Manhunter #1.
I love how like abstract that is.
Right?
Or that's probably not the right word for it, but.
And the foil, Green Lantern, Absolute Green Lantern #1.
Okay.
And then last batch. So then,
Mr. I bought 2 books all year long.
And then I just went nuts. Yeah. So his family was going on a trip, and so he wanted to get some money together for that. So I bought a big stack of Kirby books. So we got a cool Dead Man.
Oh, sweet. Dude. That's a cool cover.
This is Neil Adams. This isn't Kirby, actually.
Yeah. But that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a really cool Neil Adams cover. We got a
classic
#1. Nice condition copy of that. FF72.
Gorgeous. Saving the best for last.
74.
Nice.
So these are all surfer appearances. FF75.
God, it's almost like you need a first Silver Surfer to go with those, baby.
Almost like I do, right? And then Forever People, first full
first
Dark Side.
Yeah.
So Forever People #1, nice high grade copy of that.
Damn, I was looking at that book the other day. That's awesome. Not his copy, but just
Yeah, this one's like faded, but
okay.
#1.
Yeah.
Other than the fading, it's in really nice shape. And then New Gods #2.
Yeah, you weren't kidding. You do have some Kirby.
Yeah. First cover appearance of Darkseid.
Yeah, nice, man.
And back to the Thor theme, Thor #154. I really like that cover too.
Wow. That actually kind of looks like it goes with the Dead Man.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then Thor #164.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last thing, he had a Golden Age collection that had gold and silver. This is the same collection where I got that Fantastic Four #1 from him. But I picked up the first new original stories for comics Peanuts book. So it's kind of a bigger key. It's in pretty nice shape. So
wow.
Yeah. So
damn.
yeah, it's just a few books. So yeah, no, that's what happens when you're holding back on buying comics for the whole year.
And now do you got any Platinum Age you want to pull out now, or
No, that was it. That's all I picked. Well, that's not exactly true. So the Golden Age guy that I have around here, he's really big into Classics Illustrated.
Mhm.
And he had a whole bunch of Classics Illustrated going all the way down to issue number 2.
Whoa.
And pretty much a complete run from issue 2 through like 130 something, mostly first prints. But those, they're really hard to move and they were really lower grade. But I'm hoping that I can trade them to the Golden Age guy. So
nice, man.
Or some other books that I might like to get. So
this is one of those where I definitely shouldn't have gone second. But all right, I'll do my best. So I went to a comic shop. It's kind of I've said before, I don't really have a local comic shop, but there is one that's a bit of a drive for me. And I want to give them a quick shout out. Diversified Games up in Chehalis, Washington. I went there specifically because they had a break-in a couple weeks ago. And I wanted to support the shop. I wanted to kind of, put some money down. And he does a lot of like Magic and card game kind of stuff too. And the person that broke in stole a bunch of Magic cards, but still, comic shop got robbed. I wanted to do my part to support him.
And so you went there specifically because there was a break-in and you wanted to apologize.
Yep, I specifically wanted to make sure I covered my alibi. So I picked up some books from him. He doesn't actually usually get in like a lot of like key comics, which is kind of what I'm collecting these days for the most part. Trying to fill out, runs I like, stuff I like. But I couldn't resist this because this was a really nice copy. I think there's one crease on it that's not color breaking. This might actually be a 9.8 Wolverine 1. I've got a 9.4 that's signed by Chris Claremont. And I put it in a clear board because it's got
it's got that great burn back cover, right?
So I'll owe you my tape kind of, but whatever. I don't use clear tape on bags because I hate trying to peel it off. But yeah,
you have to censor those things on the back cover with that tape.
Yeah, that's true. really nice book. And then along the same lines, that was the first ongoing Wolverine series, right? How about the first Punisher? It's a nice newsstand. This is also kind of in that 9.6, 9.8 category. Speaking of Zach, right? So there you go.
I'm gonna answer a question for Eddie real quick. They did do a Classics Illustrated for Legends of Sleepy Hollow because I saw it, and I didn't know, but there was actually a series before Classics Illustrated called Classic Comics that is even older. It's like 3 years older, and there's a Legend of Sleepy Hollow Classic Comics.
Oh, cool.
There's printing in there. It's really cool looking. I'll try to post it on IG for you, Eddie.
And Delight, yeah, that is actually so there's been a string of comic book break-ins. We're in Washington. Well, I'm in Washington, along the I-5 corridor, which is a pretty main drag where a lot of the cities are. There's been a string of break-ins along that corridor for comic shops and kind of game shops and that kind of stuff too. So this actually, oddly enough, was completely unrelated, even though it fits that description. But he kind of got some new information, and I wanted to go in and check in on the owner and stuff. Shout out to a different Brian that works there and that runs that shop and has for years. But nice guy. But I agree, I hate thieves as well. Did get this first Fire Lord, also in pretty high grade, probably like a 9.4, 9.6 on that.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Booty cover.
Yeah, there you go, right?
Booty cover of the week.
This was the low. So those three were all extremely high grade. This is low grade, but I had to grab it, especially with the timing right now. FF Annual 2.
I thought that was awesome. You sent me the picture. I was like, oh my gosh, that's a book on my list.
It looks really rough. Some of it would actually press out because it's a lot of like wrinkles on the cover. But it's definitely low grade, even with a press, but it would just look a lot better. But it is a sweet book.
It is really cool. Yeah, Eddie, hit me up on Instagram. I'm willing to to sell you a copy if you're interested.
Nice.
So I got them specifically to flip. So
Turn vigilante bronze and deal with the. You know what? I have a friend in real life that was a real life vigilante, so I guess I could get some tips from him. That would be fun. Oh, you know what? So our producer's pointing out my mic and my video might be a little off. Sorry about that. Something I'll have to fix off stream if that happens. So
I wasn't noticing anything, but
so I've got somebody in my latest video I dropped today, somebody even noticed I have a new mic. They said it sounded great, which is awesome. Unfortunately, the software for it doesn't run for some reason. It's a Shure microphone, so I'm working it out with Shure. They're trying to get like some kind of update for the software, but it's taking forever. But I'm having a problem like getting everything synced up. So it's yeah. So that thing is over there and it's going to attack the city. The Bronze Age badass. It'd be funny. I wear a mask. Everybody's like, "Well, but it's you because we can see the beard." Actually, I never really thought about it. You don't really see a lot of. I mean, there's like what the MCU Red Guardian is about the only hero I can think of that has a giant beard. It wears a mask, obviously.
Yeah, but that's hard to wear a mask with a giant beard.
Yeah, so those are my pickups. Lot less than Bigby's. So I'm going to use the rest of my time to do the part of what we talked about with this part of the segment of the show. It's normally things like we watch or read or kind of what we're absorbing in life. So let's see, what have I been up to with that front? I finished that Paramount Plus series from Taylor Sheridan, 1923. No spoilers because that episode just dropped yesterday. It was series finale. They did 2 seasons of that show. It's like Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren, and a lot of people say the guy in it is one of the front runners to play Cyclops, the main character, whose actor's name eludes me right now. But he actually might make a good Cyclops, by the way. I would give thumbs up to that casting so far. Disappointing ending to that show for me, is what I can say.
That's a tie into another series, right?
It's part of the Yellowstone universe. Like they did 1883, 1923, that show, and they're going to do one called 1944, I think, or something like that. So they each one kind of tells a generation of the family that owns the ranch. And they've been, it's like they all start out strong. 1883 was actually a good show. It was 1 season, one and done. It's perfect. Like it's a perfect season of television, basically. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Garth Wong here is I'm 100% with you. But yeah, I finished that. And then what else? I finished the Fourth Wing Empyrean books. I think I mentioned that last week, or maybe I was just finishing it up. I finished the 3 that are out for those books, and I started another romantasy book. I never thought I'd be reading these, but my wife's got me reading them, which was A Court of Thorns and Roses. Started that book, and then my wife, that was the arrangement. She read volume 1 of Something Is Killing the Children. She finished it last night. And she's going to read volume 2. So she's enjoying it. She thinks it's a little gory, which is fair. My wife, she's read comic books before, but she's not she was more of a manga reader than a comic book reader. And more of like the, relationship style manga than the like action gore stuff. But yeah, so that was kind of the arrangement we made. She's reading that. Trying to think if there's anything else that I watched or read that was like impactful. Daredevil. I'm getting close to finishing up Reacher. That was the other like TV show I was watching. But I still have 1 episode left for that. I did watch everything except for the last episode.
Daredevil, right?
Oh yeah, Daredevil. Daredevil I watched. Spoiler-free review of that. I was kind of bored during that episode. The last one. I don't know why. I wish I was more excited about it. I loved the tone of the show so far, but I feel like I want more of Daredevil in the Daredevil show. And I want more of like, I'm not trying to spoil for people that haven't watched any of it yet so far this season, although soon we're going to be past the point where I'm okay doing that. I guess what I can say is I want more Karen in it. would be a fair thing to say, because I think of the Netflix Daredevil, his supporting cast of characters was a big part of who he was. That's about kind of where I'm at with it, I guess. I'm not like saying like I'm passing judgment on the whole season. I want to watch the whole season as a whole. I do think this is one of those shows. I think we talked about this last week. Watching it all at once, or binge style, would probably have been better.
Yeah, I haven't been like feeling like bored watching the other ones. More of it was more of a crime drama with the character that you knew was Daredevil. But yeah, after a while, you're kind of going, all right, I need a little Daredevil.
Yeah, it's funny because we are finally getting some, and it seems like almost like not enough. And I don't know if that's like budget reasons, or if that's just the writing, or if that was part of the reshoots. It's hard to say. It kind of makes you wonder.
I mean, the episode before had some really satisfying Daredevil in it, but
okay, Brandon, is it Sklenar? People have been wanting him for Batman. You know what? Now that you mentioned that, I did see. These are all probably like those rumor casting things that you see online, clickbait articles. Right. I did see some people pointing him out for Batman too. Good point.
Yeah. So I watched the first episode of Mobland.
Oh, nice. I've been wanting to watch that. That's our next show that we're going to watch together, my wife and I. So
yeah, I really enjoyed. I only watched the first episode. I haven't watched the second one yet, but super enjoyed that. That's got Tom Hardy and Pierce Brosnan
and Helen Mirren.
Yeah,
and it's a
really
Guy Ritchie show, right?
Yeah, and Guy Ritchie. I was telling Trav about that because he's a big Guy Ritchie fan, and he's like, he hadn't heard anything. He's like, I gotta watch it. So yeah, and then Daredevil. Still watching a ton of Big Bang Theory. And then I was asking you before we went on. I got kind of excited. I saw the trailer for Tron Ares. I thought that was pretty cool.
It's funny. I actually started watching Tron Legacy with my daughter. She watched it when she was really young and kind of was more of just like at the age where she likes to run around and play while she's watching movies. Now she's like actually sitting down and watching movies.
Right.
So we watched up through where Cora saves him from the bike fight, and kind of takes Sam back to his dad, and it's a good show. I mean, it's a good movie. I think people at the time, I remember seeing people say there wasn't much substance to that movie. I really fucking enjoyed the movie.
Yeah,
I really do.
Visuals, awesome music. I mean, yeah.
And
that's why I was it Trent Reznor gonna be doing the new one.
It's 9 Inch Nails. So yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That just a little bit they had in the trailer. I was like, whoa.
Well, and it's funny because more than most trailers, there's two like franchises or whatever where I pay attention to the music. One is Tron because of Daft Punk doing such a great job on Legacy soundtrack. Right. The other is the John Wick movies, because like in the first movie, it was Castle of La Castlevania. That's what it is. He did the first soundtrack except for one song, I think. And then they've kind of mixed it up for ones after that, but they did a really good job with the music on those as well. So yeah, Tron, I'm excited for. That's coming in October. I can't wait for Andor season 2. That's coming out later this month. It's kind of where I'm at. I actually want to go see the Minecraft movie. That's the other, like, I didn't get a chance to do it this weekend. Kiddo's on spring break. She's actually never been to a movie theater, so we think that might be her first movie.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah. She plays Minecraft and stuff, so we're just like, oh, that'd be fun. And I'm hearing people, besides critics, people that actually go and watch it as like an audience are saying it's really good. So lots of great comments.
A lot of commenting going here in the chat.
Yeah, and we'll definitely get to these. I started off all the ones that were about crossovers. So when we get to that topic here in a second, I will go back through those. Christina, what's up? Hello. I am working on your package actually right now. Well, not right now, but I was telling Bigby I've been pulling stuff for the packages and trying to put together what I want to put together into them, and I'm finally getting on with that.
Little known fact: Bronze is like Dr. Manhattan, so there's like 4 other Bronzes in the background.
Yeah, it's funny. We're all running around. They're not wearing pants either.
Right.
So Awesome Sauce wants to know why are you bored with Daredevil? It's something weird about something weird. Maybe it's the editing. The each individual like plot line, like following Mayor Fisk or following, you don't follow her too much, following Vanessa, following Matt, and then kind of following Daredevil too a little bit. I know they're the same person, but it's still kind of interesting the way that they kind of separated it out for the last couple episodes. Each one is interesting, but when it's mixed together, it just sort of, maybe it is the Mayor Fisk stuff, because I liked the reactions to him becoming mayor, and the you see the results coming in and everybody's kind of like having their reaction to it. But I haven't really enjoyed too much of the him as mayor stuff. Like his lackeys and stuff, his cabinet, I don't know what they call that when you're the mayor, is very uninteresting to me, I guess. That's the best way to put it.
I think they're trying to ratchet up the tension, though, of like he's bringing in all the corrupt cops. He's bringing in,
yes.
So it's like they're trying to make it like a no way out kind of thing for the vigilantes and stuff.
Yeah,
so I kind of like that, but yeah, I get it. I without spoiling anything, I'll say that I felt like this last episode, the Daredevil we got was more like he was trying to be the detective Batman than he was Daredevil.
yeah, there's definitely some of that. The I guess the other part too is, and I, we will talk spoilers of the show when it's over or something like that, but the conclusion of one of the characters' arcs, at least what it seems like their arc is coming to an end to, was really unsatisfying when you got to meet the person behind the mask. It just wasn't very cool. To give more, in case you don't know what I'm talking about, it takes place in a doctor's office. So I'll say that for people that watched it, you should know what I'm talking about now.
Right, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I've seen some reviews of people feeling like underwhelmed about how the payoff was for that.
Yeah, and I think that was part of it too. I was like, okay, so now what? Now or what are we doing? Right. And I'm not one of those people that just watch. I honestly watch most of the Marvel, most of the comic book shows, most of the movies, and I tend to enjoy them. Like I'm not one of the people who is out there, and I know there's a lot of people in the YouTube space that want to hate on all that stuff. I tend to like more of it than I don't like it. And I'm not saying I hate the show or I dislike the show. It's more of just, would it be different if I could sit down and watch 2 or 3 episodes at a time every week or every couple of days? Maybe. Yeah.
I totally get what you're saying.
No, and that's the funny thing is, Awesome Sauce, you're talking about the Mayor Fisk stuff being the best part because you're from New York. I actually, until I just thought about it when you asked me that question, I was like, I like the Mayor Fisk stuff. And I was like, wait a minute. Is it actually the Mayor Fisk stuff that's the problem? Mostly for pacing reasons for me. And maybe, avoiding politics to a certain extent, maybe because some stuff's a little too close to home for politics these days, but, or to put it a different way, I don't want to think about too many of those things when I'm trying to watch Daredevil.
Right, you're trying to escape. It's escapism. I don't want to go back into that.
Yeah, I think that's part of it too. But yeah, it is interesting how that works.
Right.
So, but all that said, and I do appreciate the questions and comments about that. So we're smash the thumbs up. Thanks, Christina. I do want to real quick before we get on to our topic that we're going to talk about tonight, I do want to take a second to point out some shows that are coming up on the EXP. I mentioned at the front of the show, please go watch or at least go sub up right now. Big B McFly, I'm Bronze Age Nerd. You can watch on my YouTube channel. Links are in the description for all these channels. Also, the EXP, which we're streaming to right now. They have some shows coming up tomorrow. One of them is going to be the Comic Industry Insiders at 2 Eastern, 1 Central. I believe they're covering some of the Diamond and Alliance news stuff that happened. If I'm not mistaken, I'm sorry if that's not what they're covering tomorrow, but I think that's what I saw. And that should always be interesting to hear because a lot of people that work for the XP are industry pros or at least attached to the industry in some way. So it is very interesting to hear their kind of opinions and perspectives. And since there's a couple shows coming out tomorrow, I'm also going to mention you can check out Minute to Skim It at 7 Eastern, 6 Central tomorrow on the EXP. That's with our producer who's on the show right now, producing and flipping the switches and rotating those dials behind the scenes. producer Jay, also Kyle, and Jen from Space Cadet Comics are all going to be there showing you about new comic books coming out on New Comic Book Day and kind of giving you a quick review so you can figure out if they're worth picking up or not.
Right.
But yeah, so let's get to our main topic. Everybody, thanks for being patient and waiting for us to get to that topic.
Yeah.
We both independently came up with a list of comic book crossovers. And we mentioned to a couple of people earlier, you know, I personally at least don't love a lot of comic book crossovers when they happen in practice, but I love them in theory. And there's been some really good ones too, don't get me wrong, but a lot of times it's sort of it sort of doesn't work out so well. And there's a lot of crossovers that are in universe that would still be fun to see that maybe haven't happened yet. We're going to kind of cover more ones that either haven't happened, are impossible because of rights reasons or whatever for the franchises to hook up, or at least improbable, or ones that maybe were covered that need to be covered better or in a new way, or we'd like to see a fresher take on it. And we're also going to make sure that we comment on all of your recommendations on the crossovers we like to see. What's up, Mickey? How you doing, Swaggle House? Great to see you on the show. Hopefully you're having a fantastic Monday. So real quick, let's go through the chat's recommendations on what they'd like to see again. They were talking about this while we were talking about other stuff in the show. This is an awesome one from producer Jay.
That would be pretty cool.
Quantum and Woody with Deadpool and Cable. That would be really fun. I would read that for sure. Hopefully with Christopher Priest writing, that would be great. Stormwatch versus Mars Attacks. Had deaths that laugh. Okay, there we go. So did that already happen?
Stormwatch versus Aliens also had deaths that lasted. That's actually the end of Stormwatch. They were killed by aliens.
Oh, like by xenomorphs?
Yeah.
Man, I did not follow Stormwatch that long. That's fascinating.
Yeah, they had the orbiting space station, and it was infested with xenomorphs, and they killed them all. Wow.
Ninjak and Batman's a really cool one. Deadman, Shadow Man. Yeah, those are Valiant DC. Those are good ones. I'm caught on Lord of Brooklyn's one here. Thor versus Thrag. That would be really fun. It reminds me of one that you, Bigby, you have it in your list, and it was one of the ones I was going to kind of mention as more of like a universe mashup, but you have it on your list, and it's one of the ones that I can't wait to talk about later in the show. He had another great one too, Batman versus Iron Man. We talked about that one, the Battle of the Billionaires.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how that would work out, but I want to see Batman build a bat suit, like an Iron Man suit, to fight Iron Man. And
kind of like the Dark Knight suit.
Yeah, and I want to see Iron Man build like a utility belt suit or something. Like I don't exactly how to work that out.
Yeah,
like,
he's gonna try to both of them inspired by one another, kind of.
Yeah,
after battling
like they fight, and then they're like, "Oh boy, like we need to change up our tactics."
Right, that's usually how it goes with both. With definitely with Batman, like especially when he has the crossover with like Aliens or Predator, he had to go back to the drawing board with what he had to do. Right.
I love the Batman versus Predator is still one of my favorite like graphic novel format stories. Great Kubert art in that too. I think that was Andy, I want to say. I don't know if Gamera was ever in a comic, but as a kid, I always wanted to see Gamera versus Godzilla. Might make it fun.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that
correctly. Gamera, how do you want to pronounce it? No way, no wrong way.
Eric says, want to see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover with Toxic Avenger. That's a really good one. In the thumbnail, we posited Daredevil and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, mostly because there is a bit of a crossover there, kind of in universe, at least for the Turtles.
The hand and the foot.
Yeah. Well, with the hand and the foot, but also the ooze.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, Turtles were based loosely riff off of Daredevil, so I mean,
right. So that's another good one.
It was Frank Miller Daredevil inspired the Turtles. So
Eddie comes up with Venom and Powerpuff Girls crossover.
There you go.
One of them. I like how you say one of the Powerpuff Girls gets a symbiote, like we all don't know who it is. Come on. Love it. See, what's up, Swag? Ambush Bug versus Nightcrawler. Who teleports best? Dude, that's a good one.
There you go.
Man, I totally missed that. That's cool. Is it worth? Okay, here's the real question: is it worth going back and reading? Yeah, more grappling hook for sure. It's just all grappling hooks. So we have a bunch of ours together. We should probably start sharing those. When it comes to the lists, I really like your first one. So why don't you talk about that one, Brian?
So I would love to see this crossover in comics or in a movie or TV show. But Star Wars / Star Trek, and even / Battlestar Galactica. I'd love to see all of those kind of matched up. That'd be pretty cool.
I love this one. I'm a huge, especially the new Battlestar Galactica or the newer Battlestar Galactica. I'm a huge fan of all three of these franchises. Did you ever watch Babylon 5?
Yeah.
So when I was a teenager, I wrote a Star Trek versus Babylon 5 fanfic.
Cool.
So I would kind of throw that in there too, just because of that reason alone.
Right.
I love this one though.
I think that could be a really cool one. I would love to see. I've seen some little things that people have done on YouTube, and they're
like animations
cool.
and stuff.
Yeah.
That's a really fun one.
Good night, Eddie.
I like that. Oh, Eddie taking off?
Yeah, he says, wish I could stay.
All right, man. Have a fantastic night. I know Comic Tropes is going to be watching the Rewind tomorrow. He had to go watch a movie with a buddy when I was talking to him in his stream. So we love those Rewind watches. We appreciate it. Anybody that can't make it, we know it's a late show.
And please hit us up with a comment in the comments about what you liked about it, or
what you didn't like. I mean,
what
whatever.
You didn't like, what you liked, any feedback.
Hack Slash and Scooby Doo's a good one. Hack Slash could actually, I didn't think about that. They could have quite a few good, like a Hack Slash and Something That's Killing the Children could have a cool one.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. I guess, I could kind of talk about my first one. I don't have quite as many as Big B, but
I'm still writing them down as we're talking.
It's like your comic haul. You're just like, here.
Here's I got another idea. Another one.
This one's Jack Kirby. Transformers and Mask is one of my crossovers I'd like to see. And this actually not my idea originally, because there was a really cool comment I was reading. I think it was on Reddit, where somebody was talking about how Transformers and G.I. Joe cross over quite a bit. And I don't disagree. I don't agree with the person that's overdone. I still enjoy those crossovers, but I do also understand that there might be some other crossovers that Transformers would be really good with. In fact, there's actually quite a few that I think would be fun. Here's my bonus one. Transformers and Voltron, I think, would be really fun too.
Right.
But I think, Transformers and Mask, because Transformers are vehicles that transform into robots. Mask is basically vehicles that transform into like battle platforms or other types of vehicles, right? So you have two transforming vehicles. You can have the human characters where you can kind of get that Cobra G.I. Joe sort of vibe in there too. So I think that'd be a really fun one to revisit. And they're both Mask is Mattel, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say they're both Hasbro, but that's not true.
You could throw my number 2 in there with yours, that too, also, which was Transformers and Robotech.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's another. So, and by the way, I just finished all the. I don't know what you call it, the first series or whatever of Robotech
season.
Is that just one season? Is that all it was?
It was a really long, but
yeah.
There's also
35.
like a Macross movie which kind of condenses it all. So
there's a few things I need to kind of figure out what the thing to watch next is, because I finished the actual episodes of the original series, I guess is what I'll say. Sorry if I'm not saying that right to any hardcore.
So you got all the way up to where you have Max and the Zentradi gal and all that stuff.
So I mean at the end it's like, he has to choose between Min-May and I'm so terrible with character names in that show. She becomes the captain of the new battle cruiser.
Right.
Oh, what is her name? But he chooses her instead of Min May, which made me so happy.
Min May was a little annoying sometimes.
Well, at the end, near the end of the story, like he gets back with Min May, and I'm like, what is going on here? Like, why are we doing this now?
Right.
And I thought it was like maybe just circular storytelling because he kind of starts out with her, but
right.
I'm glad it didn't go that way. But yeah, Robotech Transformers would be really fun.
I think that'd be kind of cool because you've got maybe almost like the transforming Veritex or whatever are like dead Transformers that they've now co-opted or whatever, or because the ship shows up, right, and it's got all that tech, and they're able to apply it to I think it could be a cool,
I think it'd be fun if it was just like 1,000 Jetfires. Jetfire just shows up, he's like, what are all these things? Why are there so many? What's up, Phil? Oh, hey, Terrence, how's it going? Collector P, you're definitely warming up on some of mine. You're getting pretty close to there, but I like yours a lot. In fact, I should Dazzler versus Gem, Conan versus really Lobo. That's really cool. Buffy versus Vampirella. I like all those. Those are all solid.
Right.
I like those a lot, man. Mr. Science votes for Transformers and Mask. Okay, cool. That's awesome. That's awesome. Jay said Hack Slash would be an awesome series if they can get the rights. There's a bunch of movie villains they can have. So much potential with that property. Yeah, I'd like to see them do, like, even if they can't get the real villains, they did a pretty good job with kind of generic knockoffs. I haven't read a ton of Hack Slash, but what I have read, they do a pretty good job of the generic villains as it is. So maybe they could get away with that. So let's see here. So I heard Hack Slash. The crossover just came to me. Hack Slash versus Maniac of New York. That'd be a good one. Totally. That'd be great. Yeah, actually, it was so funny. I interviewed the writer, creator of Maniac in New York, Elliot Kalin, and when I set up the interview, I did not realize he created Maniac in New York until I started I do my research, right? Like I do my Google search when I'm doing an interview, and because he was writing the Hades series from Dynamite Comics, and that's kind of what I was interviewing him about. But he was also a writer on the Daily Show, and he did a bunch of TV work. He does podcasts and stuff. And I didn't realize he created Maniac in New York because I read that during the pandemic. And I just wasn't, the first time I read a comic book, especially in indie, I don't necessarily pay attention to the creators. That's just a habit of mine. I just read the comic.
Right.
And the more
what it is, right?
Yeah, the more familiar with it I am, the more likely I am to remember, oh yeah, that was by so and so and so and so. Until you really learn a writer's voice or an artist's style, at least for me, it's hard for me to pay attention to that because I just read the comic. Right. And then it's funny because I'll go back 20 years later and look at a comic book I have and be like, oh, that was written by so and so. I don't know. And I know some people like that with movies, and I'm the opposite way with movies, where I'll watch a movie and I'm paying attention to the credits and whose name's popping up, and oh, this is directed by so and so, and it's got so and so in it. Right, it's one of those dumb things.
I'm the same way. I'll go back and I'll enjoy a book for what it is, and then I'll go back and I'll reread it, 10 years later, and be like, oh, there's a reason I enjoyed that. I've enjoyed that creator's stuff all along, and now he's a creator that I follow. But at the beginning, I didn't really know who he was.
Oh, what's up, K-pop? Awesome to see you. Thanks for being here. Lord of Brooklyn came up with another one, My Hero Academia and Young Justice. That's a good one. Yeah, it's a weird thing, especially as I kind of got back into comics around 2019 again. I thought, oh, for sure I will pay more attention to this. Nope.
Right.
The only way I pay more attention to it is if I know the creative team before I buy the comic. If I go seek it out because I'm I know so and so wrote this, or I know so and so is the artist, then I can remember. That's different. But yeah, when I just pick up a comic book, doesn't happen. Marv versus Jason, Friday the 13th in Sin City. That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
That'd be interesting for sure. Oh,
Mhm.
and I know exactly who I want to draw this one. I want Roscoe to draw this one. That would be
You got-
fantastic. Oh my gosh, that would be great. Oh, so we're crossing anime and comic characters.
Yeah,
Why
you can
not?
cross over
Why not?
whatever you want.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Most
I
most
like
people
awesome
do that.
sauce there. Simpsons and South Park, that'd be great.
No, did they do was it Simpsons or was it South Park and Family Guy that did a crossover? I feel like they did that at one point. I gotta admit, I haven't been on South Park for a while, but
Yeah.
but yeah, I played Chef, by the way, in case you're wondering.
Yeah.
I just haven't watched it in a while. I mean, okay, so I think it's your turn.
Yes, I thought Hellboy Hellblazer
Dude.
could be fun.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
I think
Yeah.
that would be a cool crossover.
Along the same lines as that one, that's when I looked at that one, it made me think instantly Hellblazer and Doctor Strange would be kind of fun.
Yeah. That would be that would be pretty cool. I also had on my list of Hellboy and Spawn.
Yes.
That would be those
That'd be
two
good.
could be a great. I saw a sketch when I was like, has this happened? Like a lot of these I was coming up with, I'm like, has this already happened? Because I'm like, I'm not up on every little crossover that's ever happened. So I'm like, has this already happened? Has this already happened? So I thought like Hellboy Spawn made a lot of sense. And I saw a sketch by Mignola or a drawing by Mignola, and I was like, oh, it's beautiful.
Nice. Honestly, like any of those characters mentioned together would be fun.
Yeah.
Man, I'm surprised. So you've got a couple more than me, so I think it's okay to. Well, maybe I should go to one. I'll go to one for mine. I don't want to end up too lopsided here. This is purely fun for me. I hope some of you would think it's fun too. Danger Girl and Gen 13. I think that'd be really fun. A couple of J. Scott Campbell properties. The only stipulation I have, which means this will never happen, is that J. Scott Campbell has to draw it.
Right.
So and
not just the covers.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, I want other people to do the covers so he can focus on the interiors. So it'll never happen. But that'd be a lot of fun. I'd really like to see that. Specifically, like 15-year-old me would love to see that, to the point where I'd still love to see it today, because I'm still 15-year-old me. I'm just also a lot of older me's as well.
One special wrapper.
Let's see here. I think I missed a couple comments. Family Guy and Simpsons had the epic fight with Homer and Peter. Okay. Did that take place on South Park, or did it take place in Simpsons, Sean? Because you probably know more than I do, obviously, about that. We also need a Laugh Olympic style thing crossover with Beavis and Butthead, Jay and Silent Bob, King of the Hill, Ren and Stimpy, South Park Gang, and the Simpsons and the Family. Wow. All you need in there, if you had Rick and Morty in there.
There you go. Yeah. Add that there too.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force, maybe. Wow, that'd be fun. That's the kind of thing that some stuff happened with one of the Rick and Morty creators. I'm not going to go into details. We have before on the show, I think. But if that stuff never happened and that show like had still continued to be popular, that's the kind of thing I could see them doing. Like I could see Rick and Morty like having literally like Aqua Teen and Jay and Silent Bob, and like having some kind of dumb like contest of who's the crazy stonerist TV show or whatever of all time. That'd be fun.
Contest of Champions.
Yeah. So Jay points out Simpsons did it. South Park has made fun of Family Guy and Simpsons, but Family Guy and Simpsons have crossed over. Okay.
Cool.
I feel like that's pretty definitive. Yeah. Ooh. That's a fun one because of their costumes they wore in season 2, or was it season 1? Stranger Things and Ghostbusters. That's cool.
Right.
I like that.
That could be cool.
That's a good one. Chris Nash says Hellboy and Ghost Rider also could be cool.
There we go. Yeah.
I
think you're buying that.
I don't know. I don't know how it would line up exactly, but just for the fact that they both ride types of motorcycles, I would throw out Ghost Rider and Lobo.
There you go.
Maybe they're both trying to track down some kind of demon on Earth or something. Family Guy, Beavis and Butthead, crossover as well. I just want to see all of them and the Olympic. Okay, right on. No, that's cool. Awesome sauce. And by the way, I know you're gonna say it, so I'm gonna beat you to the punch. Don't worry about the autocorrect. We don't mind.
Right.
Ninjak and Batman. Yep. Chris. Hey, Chris. Okay. I was like, is that like He-Man and
Chris?
JSA X Invaders? That'd be fun.
Yeah.
That didn't. There was an Invaders crossover with Dynamite.
It was Avengers Invaders.
Yeah, and like Dynamite published it. It was weird.
It was all Alex Ross.
That's cool. I second the Danger Girl Gen 13 thing, but can we amend your stipulation? Let them do one color with Fairchild. One cover with Fairchild. Yeah, you know what? I will allow it. If J. Scott Campbell's hand doesn't stop cramping up enough that he wants to do a couple covers, sure. As long as he still does the interiors. Oh my God. Sydney Sweeney in a good.
I was just about to say Sydney Sweeney in pretty much anything.
Right. Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay, so now it is your turn. What do you want to go over your next one?
Yeah, well, I had going back to that sci-fi. Well, we had Aliens and Star Trek. I think that could be a cool crossover.
As soon as I saw this, it amazed me that didn't happen.
Right,
because like Star Trek did a crossover with X-Men.
Right.
Which I really regret not buying those back on the news rack back then. I remember reading those at like the comic rack at the newsstand, which is actually at a Walden Books. I literally can remember where that was at. I remember reading it and being like, oh, well, that's cool. I don't need to buy it now because it was a fun story. I really wish I had, because that'd be fun. But yeah, Aliens and Star Trek would be good, man.
Yeah, you could just see the ship infested with xenomorphs, right?
It almost makes me want to say like Aliens, because going back to your Star Wars, Star Trek, Battlestar Galactica, Aliens and Battlestar might be extremely fun too, because they kind of have a little bit more of the marine kind of thing going on a little bit. Star Wars would be insane.
Couldn't you see them coming across like a Borg ship that's like dead in space and it's infested with aliens?
It's exactly what I was. Well, and there's that, and there's also there's two species from Voyager. One of them is only like a species number, and I'm so sorry I can't remember the name of it, but they're basically kind of like xenomorphs in a way. They're kind of like xenomorphs crossed with like the Shadows from Babylon 5. And then there's this alien species. They're not called the Trandoshans, but there's something kind of like that. They're like these really tall guys with like blue armor. And they hunt this alien species, and they're all tied up with the Borg somehow too. But I could see them like hunting the aliens too. That's a lot of Voyager deep cuts that I barely remember Voyager, but I remember those guys being in it. They were like they were basically like predators, but without, they were an intelligent species that could communicate with our language and stuff like that, instead of just being communicating with like sound clips.
Right.
Tribbles. Good point. Chris, Master of Bronze.
There you go.
That would be a good one. TMNT and Demon Slayer. TMNT 3. Okay, they travel back into ancient Japan, help Tanjiro defeat Shredder, who has become the Demon King. That could work. I want to give a shout out to this post here. I'm gonna screen share something real fast. This is neither of our suggestions, but it's funny. I saw this after doing the topic. Like, we finally, Big B and I finalized the topic, and like the next day I was scrolling through Facebook trying to check some stuff for social media, and I saw this, and I thought it was hilarious. Supernatural crossed over with Buffy. they get, Dean back to back with Buffy there. I thought that would be a lot of fun. Yeah, I'd like that one a lot.
Right.
So that's kind of an honorable mention. I can't take credit for that one because I just saw it on the webs, but that would be really cool. The next one on my list, it's really kind of, I don't know how much I'd like to see it, how much of it is just kind of it's poetic with the two characters and the types of characters they are, but Vampirella and Blade, I think that'd be fun.
Right.
The only problem is I'd want to see it take place in the Marvel universe, probably more than in Vampirella's universe. But I mean, there is the whole like Vampaverse thing, right? Maybe they can make some version of her in Marvel or something. Supernatural and Hellblazer would be cool too.
Yeah,
that's a good one. But yeah, I think that'd be fun. I was trying to think. There's other, like, I mean, I guess you could say like Dracula and like specifically Marvel's like Tomb of Dracula. And like Vampirella, but she's already crossed over with Dracula, like in her own.
Can we throw BPRD in there with Supernatural and Hellblazer?
Oh hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah! I didn't know if that one landed. The Vamp and the Question in a 40s noir. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
We throw the Shadow in there too.
Right. And while we're at it, Spider-Man Noir and the Question.
Yeah, right. There we go.
And the Shadow. I love all those.
So Trav from Comics Limited, I was discussing the topic with him earlier today, and he said he wanted to see planetary, because at the end of the planetary series they start hopping realities, right? They take off. He said, I want to see planetary show up in the Marvel universe, because the bad guys in planetary are the Fantastic Four, basically.
Yeah.
He's like, so they just pop in and they're like, oh, these guys are terrible. We got to take care of them.
Well, it's funny because I saw that one. I didn't know that was Trav. Oh, I did say Trav afterwards. I didn't see that part. But I saw the Planetary FF and it made me think of, this is why I thought of them earlier, Rick and Morty in FF, because in Rick and Morty, there's the Council of Ricks, which is based on the Council of Reeds from Fantastic Four. So I think it'd be funny to see that, it's kind of just one joke, but I'm sure they could, expand upon that.
Right.
I like that one. My next one, it's kind of just because I want to do something with the X-Men, but I couldn't find a really good match for them. So I'm going to go with the classic New Mutants lineup, crossing over with the new Teen Titans.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Fun. And I mean, it's something we've seen kind of shades of a little bit with the X-Men and Teen Titans, but I think it'd be fun to do that.
Right.
Two very similar
heroes in training kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, conversely, even though I don't think very many people like Gen 13 anymore, but I guess you could do like Teen Titans and Gen 13. That'd be fun too.
Right.
I keep trying to make Gen 13 a thing. Nobody wants it to be a thing except for me and like 10 other people, but still. I've always wanted to see The Question, Etrigan, Deadman, and Constantine as a detective agency. That'd be cool. Fringe and Sliders. Wow.
There we go.
Man, Sliders is a show that I have, like, at times it feels like a fever dream to me. Because it's not one of those shows, like, I didn't watch that show every week. So, like, it's just one of those ones where it's like every once I'm like, oh yeah, that's a show that existed. Like Jerry O'Connell and Jeremy Reese Davies, and they're like jumping around, and yeah, it's a fun show that felt very quantum leapy at the time to me.
Make it a thing.
Clueless and what would Clueless? Oh no, that's Mean Girls. I'm sorry, Mean Girls and Clueless. There we go. That's the crossover right there.
So my crossover was, enough of this playing around namby-pamby JLA Avengers stuff. Let's just have Marvel acquire DC at some point and just have it all be one thing.
Wow.
So it's all just one big universe.
But so specifically Marvel acquiring DC, which makes when I read that, it made me think of, but what if in another universe DC acquired Marvel?
Right.
And you had like what would it be like if the stewardship of each company was, the
How
one
would
in
it be
charge?
different, right? Right.
Yeah, it'd be very different.
I mean, I do love, don't get me wrong, I do love that we have these separate universes that have their own lore and everything else, but
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see, not like where instead of being like just so, oh, it's a one-time little crossover here, where they were just finally like, all right, we're getting serious, everything's getting melded.
So, excuse me, there. First yawn of the night, folks. It's time to take your first shot. Which title or character or whatever would you be most interested to see how DC or how Marvel would handle if they acquired DC?
Probably Batman, I guess. I don't know.
Batman. And for me, it's Superman.
Superman would be a good question too. Yeah,
because it's it's like I've always thought the DC power scales are so much higher when it comes to characters like Superman than they are for most of Marvel. I mean, depending on the writer and the plot of the story that they're tackling at any given time. But that man, it'd be weird to see them like fully merged. It'd be so weird,
wouldn't it? I mean, we get a lot of this playing around. Wouldn't it be just very interesting to see them like,
yeah, just do it,
full on melded.
Hey, what's up, Rook? Big Hero 6 and Teen Titans is a fun one. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. Got a couple others here. Hellboy and Erica from Something Is Kind of Children. Well, Erica Slaughter in there. I like anything with Erica Slaughter. I'm all down for that. That's a good one. Magnus Robot Fighter versus Ghost in the Shell. Wow, that's a cool one. Okay, so here's my challenge to chat. One of my favorite, so the thing I kept trying to do is I kept trying to go back to like comics that not a lot of people care about that I liked when I was younger, or still like now, but they came out when I was younger. And one of them is Dark Horse's Ghost. And so I'm curious, can anybody name a good crossover for that character? I'm really curious if anybody can come up with a good one. And yes, Awesome Sauce, I do remember when Supernatural crossed over with Scooby-Doo. It was great.
Ghost in Shadow would be great.
Yeah, that's the one that came to mind for me. But I don't. It'd be pretty good. I kind of wanted to do like maybe like Ghost and Ghost, like Ghost from Marvel, but yeah, it's very different version of that character.
Ghost and the Crow. That's interesting.
Ooh. Okay, I like that one. That might be my winner.
Right.
Let's see here.
Yeah, so I'd like universe incursions too. Maybe like we see more of like Invincible, The Boys, Marvel, DC kind of.
Yep. So the one that I thought of, that I was talking about this earlier, the one that I had thought of and I was trying to figure out how to work it in would be the Invincible universe and The Boys. And the first two you had there, that was the one I thought. And mostly, I don't really want to see Invincible versus Homelander, but I would like to see Omni-Man versus Homelander in some kind of capacity, or Thrag,
right?
Or maybe Battle Beast. But that'd be fun. And then any of those would be fun.
We see Homelander versus Superman versus Omni-Man versus Sentry.
Yeah. Yep. All the faux Superman.
right.
Yeah, and from a writing standpoint, you could almost do this one with I'm blanking on the character. I can only remember the voice actor's name. The dimensional guy from Invincible. Oh my god, why am I blanking on his name?
I just thought of his name.
Brown voice.
Ancient Levy?
Yes,
Ancient Levy.
Thank you. He could like, when he brings in all the Invincibles from other universes, he could accidentally throw them into another universe or something, right? Like that'd be really fun.
Right.
So you could easily do that. Wow, I can't believe I did that.
Ghost has crossed over with Shadow and Hellboy. There we go.
Okay, the Hellboy one I knew, and by the way, one of my favorite things about that series, this is a little sarcastic, but in the first 5 issues, I think it's like in the first 5 issues of her standalone series, they have her crossover with Barbed Wire and Predator. It's a lot to throw at a character, and oddly enough, both kind of work.
Oh, and she's crossed over with Batgirl. Okay.
Yeah, that's a fun one too. Yeah, it's funny. Ghost crossed over with a lot of people, and I will go down swinging saying that Ghost is a overlooked series that a lot of people kind of sneered down their noses at, and I understand why. But I actually really enjoyed that. The Adam Hughes covers drew me in, and the story and the art inside kept me coming back for more. So
right. But I have Tron and the Matrix on my list next.
Captain Planet and the Planet Heroes teaming up with Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. Interesting. I like that one too. Yeah. So you have Hellboy and Spawn.
No, I had Tron and Matrix.
Oh, okay.
We already talked about Hellboy and Spawn, but
okay.
Yeah, Tron and the Matrix. I thought
Tron and the Matrix. It's funny. I've been thinking a lot about the Matrix recently. I'm trying to think of how that one would work. Would it be the Matrix folks dialing into the Tron system, or would it be the Tron people jacking into the Matrix?
Yeah, well, you have that Unreal Tron stuff appearing in the Matrix world, or
yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, we're dealing with programs as people, kind of thing. In the
Neo, he fights for the users, man. That's all I gotta say.
That's right.
I like that one too, just from a sheer love of both franchises, I guess is what I'd say.
Right.
Yeah, I ended up with more somehow than I've got one more, which I did not expect. My last official one, although I do have one other one.
I got a couple more I've been coming up with as we go. So
okay, perfect. That'll meld in perfectly then. G.I. Joe and Shield, I thought would be really fun because when I was growing up, I always was like, how come Shield isn't showing up in the G.I. Joe comics when it was during the Marvel run? Early in the comics, there's a lot of references to things happening in the Marvel universe. The bonus one I'll throw in is Punisher, who I thought would have fit in probably a little too dark for the tone of G.I. Joe, and then G.I. Joe is probably a little too light for the tone of Punisher, but like from a modern storytelling standpoint, why not? Right. But G.I. Joe and Shield, I thought would have been really cool. Like, maybe a special team works with Nick Fury's kind of elite, team or whatever for Shield to take out a, Cobra AIM kind of hybrid threat or something like that. That'd be really cool. So,
yeah, that'd be cool. Well, who was the last? Was it last week? Somebody was telling us that there was like some official book that had actually crossed G.I. Joe into Marvel, or it was like one of the Joes had done something to save a character or something, or something. I forget what it was, but
from one of the Joes from the new series. I mean,
no, from the Marvel series. It was like in the
Marvel. I mean, like Spider-Man was like in issue 3, so I mean, there's plenty of crossover.
Well, that was Transformers, right?
That was right. I'm sorry, that was Transformers. You're right. But gosh, I'm like mixing up my Hasbro.
Yeah. Yeah. Clue actually created the Matrix. Clue.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Adam, Eve, and Starlight. There we go. Yeah.
Oh man, now we're talking.
Yeah. So I had for one I had thought of while we were talking, Conan and Death Dealer. That'd be pretty cool.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
Yeah,
that's a good one. I like that one a lot. Yeah, it's like a Frazetta crossover, man. I like that. I mean, obviously, not just Frazetta with Conan, but
be cool to see some Barry Windsor Smith artwork for that.
That would be very cool. The one I thought of that I didn't write it down, but I have it stored up here until right now. This is actually an action figure mashup I did because I had a couple of really cool action figures for each of these characters, and I did some like poses of them together a long time. I was taking my first forays into action figure photography. Deadpool and Harley Quinn.
Oh, that would be a good one. Yeah.
Specifically, if Deadpool falls in love with Harley Quinn, and then they kind of did something like that with during the Amanda Connor and Jimmy Palmiotti run, they created this character named Red Tool, who was very, very much like Deadpool. I mean, Red Tool, Deadpool. But yeah, so there already kind of was that, but this was before that even happened. So, oh hey, perfect. Yep, there we go. Sean said Star Trek and Fantastic Four. That'd be really cool. I mean, just Reed Richards and Star Trek almost would be sweet. Herbie and Data. By the way, I have to point out, anytime somebody says Star Trek, every time I'm picturing the Next Generation. I don't know why. But
somebody in the chat will probably be able to remember, but we'll just talk about weird crossovers. So Ace from G.I. Joe is in another toy line. I don't remember what toy line it is, though.
Whoa.
It's a sci-fi toy line where, God, what is it?
It's not the...
It's got big giant monsters in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't remember the toy line. But it was a toy line from the 90s. But that Ace character, I don't remember what the toy line is. But I remember seeing a thing where they're like, yeah, actually, if you follow the thing, it's like he's piloting a Sky Striker that goes through a dimensional thing and ends up in this other universe. And he's one of the main characters in that toy line.
I keep waiting for somebody in chat to like nail this, because this seems like something that I'm amazed I didn't know this.
Yeah.
Man,
what is the toy line I'm trying to think of? They had the big it's like Rock Lords or something, or I don't remember what the name is.
That's definitely not a cartoon I was ever familiar with, so that would make a lot of sense why I didn't know that, I guess. If that's what it is. Crazy. This is the kind of thing where I wish Chris wasn't off watching a movie.
He would know
immediately.
Right.
Oxymoron and the Mask versus Batman and Daredevil.
There we go.
Who's Oxymoron? I don't know that one.
I'm not sure who Oxymoron is, but
that's interesting. For some reason, reading yours, Sean, it made me think of this. Onomatopoeia versus Spot. I don't know why that one just popped in my head, but Big Bad from Comics Tribe. Okay. Ooh, there's a good one from Psychotron. The Tick versus the Mask.
There we go.
Oh, he makes Joker look like PG-13. Okay.
How about Throg and the TMNT?
Oh, wow. I know. How about Battletoads and TMNT? No, that's a good one. I like that one. In this one, he makes Joker look like Mr. Rogers. Okay. Well, apparently there's a comic I'm completely unfamiliar with, so I appreciate the education, guys. Before we move on to some news, as we still keep throwing those out there, we're going to keep coming back to them. I do want to mention that there are a couple other shows coming up on the EXP I wanted to talk about. At 8 Eastern and 7 Central, you can check out Welcome to Wonderland Comics with Rich Davis. Good claim sale show. Definitely highly recommend it. It's one of the ones I've bought from on the EXP before, as well as the other one that's coming on tomorrow night, rounding out the night at 10 Eastern, 9 Central. You got Kicking It with Henri. Basically 2 claim sales from comic book writers who are going to offer you some awesome comic books to check out. So go check out those shows over on the EXP. Remember, the link is in the description for those. If you're not already subscribed to the EXP, go do so. Check out some awesome content over there. You're going to love it. If you enjoy anything about this show, you're going to like the content they have over there. Street Sharks versus TMNT. There we go.
There you go.
There's some good ones. You guys are killing it, as usual. Our chat rocks. So we got some news to talk about. None of it involves Sydney Sweeney, as far as I'm aware.
Dang it.
I'm like obligated to say that. So the first thing is, I had this saved up in our news. I actually did a video about this. So if you want more of my opinions on this, you can definitely go check that out on my channel. A few places reported this, but the popverse.com was the article I found. Image Comics is raising the prices on their Spawn comics. So like the core 6 Spawn titles are going up from $2.99 to $3.99. That starts in July with Spawn 366. Although somebody did point out that the limited series that's going on for Spawn right now is actually already at $3.99, but it's also a limited series. But that includes Spawn, Gunslinger Spawn, King Spawn, Spawn Rat City, and other mini series are going from $2.99 to $3.99, starting with Spawn 366. So I've talked about this already. Some of you may have watched that video. Big B, what do you think about this? Because I never really got your take on this.
I thought it was admirable that a lot of the companies are taking a wait and see approach. It's kind of unfortunate that, but you got to be proactive, I guess, too. You don't want to be caught with your pants down, right? So, yeah. I get it. But yes, it's unfortunate. Spawn hasn't gone up in price for how long?
It's been ages. And Todd McFarlane has I think it was last year at I don't know if it was SDCC or Comics Pro, I can't remember. He kind of famously was talking about how he wants to keep the price as low as possible for as long as he can. And I believe that it must be beyond their control. I think he even said something along the lines of even if he lost a little money on it, he'd still do it.
Right.
Or I think if he could break even, he'd still do it or whatever. It's something close to that effect.
Right.
And so, I think some people, I literally just was kind of reporting on this particular news story. I do think some people maybe thought I was kind of trying to say that they're wrong for doing this. Nah, it's just, I think it's a bad sign for comics. Comics are already at a point where the price point is something I regularly hear being talked about as a pain point for why people aren't collecting or buying more comics. And
right.
And maybe it's at a point where comics are just too expensive as a medium to sustain those price points. But every time you increase the price, I do believe people are going to start making decisions. There was people commenting on that video I made that were like, oh, well, now I can only do so many comics a month, and I'm probably going to cut a couple titles, because of stuff like this, because I was reading a couple of Spawn books.
I found my reference, by the way. I just forwarded it to you.
Oh, where?
In both places. Both
okay.
I sent it to you on IG and on the
Inhumanoids.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
That's where Ace ended up, was in the Inhumanoids universe.
And he suffered a cruel fate there?
I think he dies in Inhumanoids.
Dark? Excuse me. There's my second.
Or he became mutated into a monster or something. I remember watching the thing on it. I was like, what? I reject this reality.
I reject this reality. If you had never told me, I never even would have known about it. God, dude. Is there any... So there's Inhumanoids. I don't remember. I've heard that name.
Does it say he turns into a monster? What happens to him?
Oh gosh. That doesn't look good right there.
Right? He's turning into a monster. Only a head encased in the wreckage recounts how his plane was downed. Okay.
Brad, is Brad Armbruster? Is that Ace's?
That's Ace's name, yeah.
Okay. Dude. Pour one out for Ace, man.
Right.
Also, that looks so late 80s. I can't even.
Right. So he made something out of the crashed Sky Striker. It said there at the bottom. Made a suit out of the crashed Sky Striker.
You're just disturbing me, man. I mean,
Yeah,
you didn't do
robotic
it.
skeleton of the mortally injured pilot was constructed of the crashed Sky Striker jet. Presumably, there's more Sky Striker than Ace left after the crash.
Man,
That's the
well,
fate of Ace.
I'm so disappointed now.
Horrifically injured by a monster and destined to live as a cyborg inside his beloved Sky Striker jet forever.
Yikes.
Wow.
It's so tragic.
Isn't it? There you go. I taught you something terrible about G.I. Joe tonight.
I hate it. No, I'm just kidding. That's rough. He caught up on chat here. Oh wow, here we go. King Arthur and the Knights of Justice Avengers / JLA. Interesting.
Here we go.
The Snorks and the Smurfs.
There you go. Yeah.
Judge Dredd versus Grindel or Grindel Prime. There we go.
There we go. That'd be cool.
These are still killing it. Lord of Brooklyn has put in like 40 alone, I feel like. They've all been good.
What about Thundercats and He-Man? That was my last one.
Oh, hey, there's a good point. I know we've had some I know towards the end of the stream we get all these weird comments on Twitch for people that don't know. I'm not going to highlight it, but it's basically like, cheap viewers, blah blah blah, like trying to be a spam bot. That might be a tip for how that might work. Because I know we've talked about that's hard to block in the past.
Right.
Hey, what's up, Trav? We were just talking about you earlier. Welcome to the show. Thanks for watching on your TV. We appreciate
your
all
suggestion.
YouTube watchers.
Planetary.
Yep. Iris from the Executive Assistant comic series is teaming up with 007. Philip Kennedy Johnson does the writing. Okay. I could, this is maybe a little bit more of an obvious one, but I'd say like Gun Honey crossing over James Bond 2 would be kind of cool.
Right. Crossing over with Danger Girl.
Yeah, there you go. There's another one. Oh boy, that'd be crazy. Awesome Sauce is not surprised by the price hike. I think this is just the start of many price hikes on new comics to come. Yeah, and just to I kind of veered away from the politics of that particular topic. Right. I do have the word tariffs in the headline of my video because it's in the headline of the article I referenced. But we don't get political here, but at a certain point, it kind of rubs up against the reality of the comic book situation. Between inflation and tariffs happening. People that don't know this already, I actually commented on. Hey, what's up, John? How's it going? I commented on an industry professional's Facebook post about this because a bunch of people came in commenting, well, if it's that big of a deal, just print here in America. Okay, it's not that easy, especially when you're talking about Spawn, when you're talking about a big image title. Yes, small indies can find printers here in the United States that print locally. Larger print runs, so from talking to people who are in the industry at larger publishers, there is not a pathway for them to print easily in America, from what I've been told. If you have different knowledge on that, please share it. But basically, how it works is the large print houses are already spoken for, and they're doing print jobs for other clients. If you take the time that it would take to print the comic books here, plus the paper stock, a lot of it we get is from Canada. You have to run a different kind of paper stock at paper producers in the United States. You have to get ink from the United States, which a lot of it comes from overseas. Get all those materials here. You find a print shop that's willing to do it. Well, they have to kick off a client that they already have working for them to print your stuff. So either they charge you more money for the premium of doing that, which is more expensive, which completely, counteracts the point of printing here in the United States in the first place. And it also could damage their business with that other client. Or you build new print facilities, which is my suggestion. If anybody who says that, oh, well, it's easy, just do it in the United States, I would encourage you to look into the idea of creating a printer and starting that if you have the resources to do that, because I think there is a demand for it now. But until that happens, I think it's going to be very difficult. It's
I think-
basically time, money, resources, all those things get factored into this. It's not as easy as just, well, just print it here.
That's not something you can just flip a switch and change the production.
Yeah.
I think it was Chris was chiming in that he said that the facilities in the United States are we can print covers in the United States, we can print interiors in the United States, but the places that can do it can't do it all in one place. So you'd have to ship the covers to the interiors place or vice versa, and then have them assembled, and it's just not cost effective.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I've seen other people chiming in on people that do print runs for comic books, chiming in saying the quality is better from overseas than what you see in the United States at numbers, right? So everything's in context. I'm not saying you can't get quality comics printed in the United States. I'm saying if your print runs go above us, or I don't know what the certain number is, but maybe like
volume,
above
yeah.
10,000 or something, you're going to see more quality from a large print run from somewhere out of the United States, according to them. None of this is my personal information. Don't get it twisted. I'm just reporting what I've heard from people that do work alongside publishers and for publishers of larger comics. So,
Awesome Sauce wants to know where that story was from. It was
Yeah.
from CBR, right?
So that, yeah, it's a link from CBR. I'll actually paste it into the chat for your reading pleasure. So you'll get to see it come through on all the different channels we're streaming on. If you're interested in checking out the article that will make you cry about what happened to Ace and the body horror that is right out of the substance that does ensue. So good luck.
I was shocked when I saw that original story about that. I was like, what? Wait.
Generation 0 and Gen 13 trying to help you out, Bronze. I like that. Or for that matter, Generation X and Gen 13. That didn't happen, did it? No, it just seems like it should have.
Because Generation X was originally going to be the name for Gen 13, but Marvel had already trademarked it.
Yeah, and boy, it would have been even more dated if it had been called Gen X. That's what I was looking for. Sean says Comics Wellspring is the only domestic printer I can really think of that small Kickstarter publishers use. I don't know their names, but I'm aware that a couple other people, I think they're in the Midwest.
If Katie's still in here, she probably know a lot of it too.
No, she would probably. I think she probably was just checking in, which is awesome. I appreciate that, but too bad she's not still here because I have a feeling she would know the answer to that too. And then we had Awesome's comment. Figure Drawing says if tariffs don't chill, we're going to have a lot more to worry about than comic prices. Sadly, the market has already lost $10+ trillion. Yeah. So this is something I mentioned. I mentioned in a Reddit post where somebody was talking about. It was so I follow the G.I. Joe Classified series Reddit, and somebody was like, "Do you guys think prices for G.I. Joe Classified are going to go up?" And my comment, and I'll just tell you what I said is, I think you're not going to care about the prices going up for G.I. Joe Classified because everything else is going to go up so much. You're not going to want to collect toys anymore if that's what you're worried about. Unless people have a ton of disposable income, like for context, action figures in that kind of caliber of that line used to be $20 for a long time, and now they're at $25, and that's a pretty recent change. And now I think I've heard they're going to go to like $32. $32 for a figure that a few years ago cost $20. That doesn't come with it doesn't come with a whole heck of a lot. It's hard for people. People would buy the whole wave. Now maybe they'll buy one figure they really, really, really have to have. And that's going to have a tack-on effect for Hasbro or for other McFarlane Toys, for other toy manufacturers. Which mostly do business overseas with their production. They did crossover in '97. Thank you very much, Trav. I thought there was something about that. It just sounded so familiar. Yep, K-pop would know everything. Agreed.
She would. I sent her a message on IG. She might pop back in.
She might. would definitely appreciate her perspective because she talks us so. By the way, if you're not familiar with K-pop Junkies channel, I don't know if Christina's still in here, she could easily link to it, or anybody other mods that could easily link to it. She does amazing interviews with like if you can think of a Kickstarter that's coming out, she's probably interviewed the team on her channel. She does awesome like live stream interviews with them, so definitely go check her out. Especially if you're interested in that kind of content. She does a lot of good stuff. The tariffs have already affected my industry on the maritime side. I bet. I can only imagine. Reality is not realitying. Yep. Yeah, it's gonna get weird. Things may all I'll say is things might calm down. Hopefully they do, but unless they don't, things are going to get weird for a lot of luxury hobby industries, that kind of stuff.
We're gonna have to make some tough choices for sure.
Yeah.
And the sad thing, like when prices go up, they don't ever come back down.
Right.
So once things go up, they're going to stay up because they've already set that precedent that they can get that money out of your pocket for that price. So
well, there's also this thing too that happens where I'll get back to your comment in a second, Sean. There's also this thing happens where it's like, okay, let's say your new price point again, let's just say I'm right, and it's Hasbro is charging $32 for like Marvel Legends and GI Joe Classified and Power Rangers and all the figures they make, right?
Right.
Well, if they suddenly start charging $25 again, there's this weird thing that happens where people like, oh, what, the quality went down, or like the
right.
And maybe that's a little bit of like just what companies tell us, but I have heard companies say that when they've tried to lower prices, sometimes people do sort of react negatively as well. The real trick is, we're not going to turn it into an economics podcast, don't worry, folks. But the real trick is that now wages have to go up to compensate. That's the real thing,
right.
And
or
the odds of that happening are low.
When wages go up, the cost of goods goes up. So you're getting like a $8 hamburger and a whatever. So or a $5 loaf of bread.
Exactly. So it's all, folks. Believe it or not, economics is hard. There's a lot of important stuff that happens there, and I know most of you aren't here for it, but so we're not going to
have some very spirited conversations about this today with several of my friends, and not in any way trying to provoke each other. We were just like having thought-provoking conversation about it, and it was very cool because we were able to have that discussion. And at the end, we were like, "Thank you so much for being able to talk about this and not get angry and yell and scream, and just talk about it and share our opinions and our thoughts, and be able to mold these ideas over in our heads." And
I mean, to be fair, I do feel like at least on this channel, with Big B here, I've had a really good track record of talking about complicated things when they do come up, and keeping things civil. Occasionally, people get a little heated in chat, but at the same time, we listen to every side and we try to talk about it. And so when these things come up, I don't feel bad talking about them. But where I do know and can easily see it going is people kind of get to like, well, but my side says, and but my side, like, no.
Yeah.
Don't resort to that. As long as you can bring a valid point without worrying about what side it comes from, we're
willing to listen and mull things over and be open to talk. And as long as we're being civil to one another and not calling names and being mean.
Shout out to Son of Crom.
Our hamburgers are already $8, but like when you go to McDonald's and you get the bargain burger, now there ain't a lot of the dollar menu ain't around anymore. Lot of it is gone. I love too that look, hey, I don't understand the economics of businesses like large restaurant chains and stuff like that, but I love how they advertise a deal, and it works for me. Like, because once or twice a week we usually eat out, that kind of thing. And if we do, like, oh hey, there's a deal on this, maybe we'll go check that out because we like that place or whatever. And then it feels like that deal just like comes and goes. Like, I'm those people where sometimes I'll see an ad for something. It's like, oh, it's on sale. It's like, there's this special deal going on at this restaurant or whatever.
And I'll go there like a week later, and I'm like, because I heard about that deal, I want to get it. And they're like, yeah, we don't have that deal. And it's
Right.
oh, okay. Well, guess it was a really limited time.
Right.
Because so they don't really stick that stuff around. There was a tweet that said something about a tariff pause. It was a false tweet, and the stock market instantly went up 900 points,
Yep,
then
we
back
were talking
down.
about
because
that
of the
today.
tweet. Wow.
And
And
immediately rocked it back down.
to Bigby's point, by the way, I know a lot of conversations are happening about this stuff right now, which is why I don't mind talking about it at all either. A lot of low-paying jobs were being done by immigrants that are now vacant. Don't think those companies want to raise the wages for those positions either. That's also true. I literally think that every time, Sean, the whole Letter Kenny thing. It's yeah.
It's
To
like
be
what
fair,
it's like me getting that thing action figure for when I talk with Trav.
here's the thing.
Travis's thing is he says, "Here's the thing. I have a little thing action figure. I'm going to hold up every time he says it. Here's the thing."
Jay is disappointed that we didn't have red-faced heart attack guy. Yeah, I mean, Chris Farley impressions aside, was that in poor taste because he died? He died because of an overdose. But yeah, I want to occasionally do that as a character, but
Right.
Oh man, there's this great YouTuber. I wish I could remember his name. He's a chef in Seattle, and he goes around Seattle and does like, here's the best pizza. It's kind of like a vlog style video. Here's the best. Like he did one that was today. It was like fish and chips, and he was talking about going to Spuds. I think it was Spuds, and getting a frozen custard cone. And he's like, "Oh, I love these because it reminds me of going to McDonald's when I was a kid and getting the ice cream cone. They used to have a 2 for $1 deal where you can get 2 soft serve cones for $1." And he's like, "Do they still have that now?" And I'm like, I don't even know, and I can guarantee you they don't have that now. Like they probably don't even have that 1 for $1 now. Like there's just no way. Yeah, it's just it's
What's the
bad.
deal? They used to have, was it six mini tacos at Jack in the Box for $1? And my wife was like, "Hey, they have that on their app now." I was like, "Really?" Because she's like, "I used to be the cheap eats, 6 mini tacos for $1."
Yeah. I mean, and I mean, to be fair, a lot of this is not great food, but also to be fair, there's a Letter Kenny joke for you. It's hard to, if you're working hard and working a lot of hours, it's hard to meal plan and meal prep, and sometimes
Dude, I tell you what, there's a little mini mart down the street from me, and the other day I stopped in there, got like a large JoJo, and for those who don't know, that's like potato wedges, but it was $1.89, and it was like a bag like half the size of my head full of JoJo's. It's like, holy crap.
I love it when stuff like it happens. I have to go. I want to look up.
Here's the thing.
I want to look up the name of that channel because I want to shout that guy out. He's not like a huge channel either. He's not like one of these.
McDonald's doesn't really have an ice cream machine. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's fair.
They just say it's broken all the
time. Here, okay, so I'm going to paste in that link to that channel. And that is literally the fishy. His name is Matthew Norman. Really cool channel if you like chill lifestyle vlog type stuff, which I've been getting more and more into because it takes my mind off of crap. That's fun. So go check that out. Okay, back to news real fast. I've got one more news story I'm going to share that we can talk about real fast. This is going back to Daredevil.
Is it about the pink dog?
Yeah.
That's where my eye went immediately. It was the pink dog.
How could it not, dude? No, the main thing on the screen right now is a Daredevil trailer, which I'm not going to play, but this is from Newsweek. It says, and this was reported a few other places. Vincent D'Onofrio says Kingpin, not Kingpan. Kingpan is a cast iron skillet, by the way. Kingpin can't appear in Marvel movies. And he goes on, basically the upside here is he said that the rights issues are so weird. That he can only, okay, so I think this is his quote. He was asked about possibly appearing in Spider-Man Brand New Day or any other Marvel films, and he responded, "The only thing I know is not positive It's very hard. It's a very hard thing to do for Marvel to use my character. It's a very hard thing to do because of ownership and stuff. Right now, I'm only usable for television series, different kinds of series, whatever it is, but not even a one-off Fisk movie or anything like that. It's all caught up in rights and stuff. I don't know when that would work out or if it ever would work out at all, actually, which is super interesting because, okay, let's assume he's correct because he's Vincent D'Onofrio and he plays Kingpin. Let's assume he's correct.
You think he'd know a little bit about his character, right? Yeah.
Yeah, especially about what it could and couldn't happen.
Yeah,
so I remember
there's no possibility for you to be in a movie, right?
Well, and I remember when he appeared in Hawkeye, people were like, "Whoa, that's kind of weird that he's like Hawkeye. That's kind of a strange fit for." I mean, because officially at that point, his Kingpin wasn't canon to the MCU until that happened. I think I have that correct. And obviously now most of that is, if not all of that is. And
Hawkeye was talking almost like in like the name, he who shall not be named. Like he kept kind of referencing Kingpin, but not talking about it. He's like finally flat out says the Kingpin of crime. That was really great in Hawkeye.
Yeah, I mean that was great. It was a great moment. I'm glad he was in it. Although it was definitely felt different in a lot of ways. I remember he was wearing like a Hawaiian shirt. It was very like strange in some ways. But yeah, so that was good. That happened, and then obviously we have it. He was an Echo. He was a big character in that, pun intended. And then on Born Again. But thinking about like if they do like this this Punisher special, maybe he could be in that if they decide to use him in that. He could be like in another if they bring back like Jessica Jones, or if they do Luke Cage or something, he could be in those shows. But could he be in the next Spider-Man? No. What are we doing? This is like going back a few years to like the well, it's Marvel, but they can't use Spider-Man in their own movies, and they can't use the X-Men, and the Hulk can't have his own movie because he can only co-star in a movie, but it can't have Hulk in the title. Like it's just because of their rights with Universal, for people that don't know that. It just is so weird, and it just sucks. It sucks that like it has to get complicated like that, because the Kingpin would fit in a lot of things, I think, that would be really, and they have him. They have maybe he's not the definitive Kingpin to a lot of people. I think he's a great Kingpin. So I think it's one of the better castings we've had. I think it's kind of, in fact, I would throw it up there with Robert Downey Jr. As Iron Man. Maybe not quite up there with Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom, but that was a joke.
We haven't seen that yet. We'll reserve judgment.
I know, but it just kind of seems strange to me that's what's going on with it. But I mean, it's not the most unsurprising thing either. Which I just mentioned. See if I can find this. Oh, why is this not loading?
Okay, so I'm gonna derail you while you're looking for that.
Go ahead.
So my friends and I were saying missed opportunity on Marvel's part to not reveal another little tidbit trailer for Fantastic Four on 4/4/25.
Oh, it's a good point. It's a good point. Man, I can't wait for that movie. Well, this stupid website isn't loading, this X.com website. Is there a way to get this?
I'll derail again. Did you see
Please
the
do.
Superman trailer?
I intentionally didn't watch it. Because it's not really just a trailer, it's a special look, right? Like, isn't it like part of the movie?
No, it's the trailer. It's the trailer.
Oh, hey Jay, maybe you can help me. It didn't something come out that's like a couple minutes of the film or something? Or like
at the beginning of certain screenings of the Minecraft movie, there's supposed to be a 5-minute special look.
Okay.
That sneak peek actually got released. It wasn't technically a trailer. It was the beginning with some more crypto, and then it was the older trailer kind of spliced into it.
Okay, so that's not a trailer. I saw that. I thought it was pretty good.
I just put in the chat before I came on. I'm thinking Superman Day on the 18th is when we're getting a new trailer.
Ooh,
gotcha.
Nice.
I just thought it made all the sense in the world to do on 4/4 to do a Fantastic Four thing, but nope.
It totally does.
I'm in agreement with you on that too. I liked the first trailer, even though I was one of those dummies that woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning to wait around for an hour or so to see it. But I kind of need something. I need something else.
So if I went to the movie theater, I remember they did that with like The Dark Knight. They had it before some really unrelated movie. They had some 5-minute look at it or whatever. They've done some stuff like that in the past. I'm okay with that. I'm not going to go seek out that footage because I don't want trailers spoil too much as it is for me. And I know everybody has different opinions on that, but okay. So here's what I want to show. It's this tweet from Comic Tropes. For some reason, the image doesn't load unless I load it in a different tab. So I'm sorry I have to present it this way. Don't blame me. This is the card that Robert Downey Jr. sent to friends for his birthday party. I really hope that it is not the MCU look for Doctor Doom. And then here I'll paste in. Here's what he sent out. So here's the image.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I'll just zoom in on that.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be what it is.
but think about it. Robert Downey Jr. sent this out to friends and family.
Dear God, I hope not. That's awful looking.
It looks terrible.
Right?
Folks, I am in no way saying that this is what he's going to look like in the MCU. Don't twist my words here. I'm just saying, like, it's weird that this would be the image that got generated. Like, you got a couple, I guess there's probably supposed to be Doom bots, but that's like the actual Doom look down there with a top hat. But wow. But so here's the thing: as I was looking at this costume, the green jumpsuit thing that he's wearing, that totally reminds me of when Professor Xavier would wear like the green jumpsuit.
Right.
And I wondered where this, like, I wonder who the artist was on this. Like,
well, the eyes look like a photo.
I know, right? It looks weird.
So it looks like maybe a Photoshop job, like they used something else. It might be interesting to paste that into like Google Lens and see what it pulls up for different pieces.
I just kind of came up in the chat, like, thinking about it from the show. Otherwise I would have done that ahead of time, but it just makes me wonder. Whatever. I mean, I definitely will reserve judgment on all this stuff until I see it.
Right.
But that is a weird thing to exist. Hey, have a great night, Awesome Sauce. You may have already taken off. I'm sorry. I was busy trying to get that to load.
Thanks for being here.
We do appreciate it. RDJ is also a Comic Tropes level troll. Just saying. Good point. Fair point. RDJ may be a placeholder Doom. Others have speculated this, and it makes well. I mean, think about it. Like John Krasinski was a placeholder Mr. Fantastic. I believe Patrick Stewart is a placeholder Xavier, even though we've seen him in Doctor Strange 2, and he's in the cast list for Doomsday. But yeah, Master of Mystic Arts Doom. Yeah, I mean, parts of it actually are kind of cool, like the magic he's weaving and everything like that's pretty neat, and the cape is fine, like that's cool, but it's just the head and the mask and the photo thing. I thought that too, Trav. I had that thought, but it almost looks more like a photo bash to me. Maybe a photo bash on top of AI art with like Photoshop. But anyways,
right.
It's not great. It's not great. The only other thing I should comment on, and it's more of to say that we don't have all the details. So there's some stuff going on, and I do not understand it. There's some stuff going on because I was out all day, and I think this news story broke today mostly. There's some stuff going on with Diamond, and I think some company is suing over their bid to buy Diamond. I don't really know exactly how it works, but Alliance was supposed to be able to buy Diamond, but the courts had to approve it, and now that's being held up. That's kind of the gist of it from what I understand. We're going to continue to look into that story and probably cover it later on, because I was out of town most of the day and kind of heard about it when I got home, and it was too late to kind of do a deep dive into it and figure out what's going on. And then I had people messaging me being like, can you explain this? Because I'm confused. It's like, okay, well, great. If you're confused, me looking at it at a baseline, I'm probably not going to understand it. But yeah, and shout out to like Scott from Gamma Base Comics, was one of those people. He's like, can you explain this to me? Because I am so confused. And I took one look at one thing and I was like, I'm confused now too. So I need to figure out more what's going on. Right. So we reached that time in the show where we're out of our main news stories. And so we can talk about probably one of my favorite segments of the show, I guess. There's so many favorites, but this is really high up there. And that is comic community art. One day I hope to have a drop for that, but I don't today. So let's start off with this. You tell me if this is finally finished, Bigby. I know that
is the final pencils for that. Yeah.
Okay. So we have this awesome piece that we've seen parts of before from Bigby. Talk about a crossover. Kind of a crossover of mashups and styles here. I'll kind of zoom in so you can see a little bit more of what's going on here in the detail. This is kind of the main focal point. So yeah, tell us a little bit about what's going on here, man.
Originally the piece was done for Between the Lines with Kiko with Roscoe, and the theme was mashup Golden Age tropes. So I did sci-fi, zombies, and World War II. So I kind of took that Bender character from Startling Stories. You got the jetpack space girl. You got the Nazi zombies and space. So yeah, I'm just having fun with it. So I'm gonna ink that up, and then Travis is gonna color it, I think. So
right on. Very cool, man. So you got the Startling Stories Bender here, and I'm sorry if I've asked this before. Is the ship based on the Planet Express from Futurama, though?
Well, it's based on a Golden Age rocket, which the Planet Express is based off of a Golden Age rocket. So yeah,
for sure. You did awesome. Yeah, hey, got the Copper Age babe.
Thank you.
Coming in from upstairs. For those who don't know, that's my lovely wife.
Yes.
Can confirm she is a babe. Dope from Figure Drawing there. We got Jay saying, wow, baby. Yeah, you definitely did a good job, man.
Thank you.
I like it. Speaking of Trav, Comics Limited here, we've got a sketch cover he's been working on for a while. Looks like he got it finally finished up here.
That came out awesome.
Was that a commission, Trav?
Yeah, that was for Richard.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. I cannot remember the name of that lantern though. Sorry.
Dexstar.
Thank you.
That's right.
Very, very cool.
Yeah, I got to finish that piece up with Travis the other night, so it was really fun. I got to do some artwork.
Hey, so you know what? So Cyclotron Bigby has shared. I don't know if you've not seen some of his art before, but go follow his Instagram. He posts a lot of his art on there, including some really cool videos where he does like kind of like montage might be the wrong word of his art,
or seizure videos, as Bronze likes to call them.
Well, there's only been two. There's only been
some
two.
of them out and flashing in them. There you go.
I'm like, am I being programmed? Like,
yes,
Manchurian candidate style here. What's going on? Elliot Rodriguez did this dope Dark Knight here. I really like this a lot. Love Elliot's style.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's a sketch card. It's a really tiny piece of artwork.
Yeah. That was amazing when people can do fine detail art, because like when I do like stuff on my tablet, I'm always drawing like huge faces, and then this is one of the reasons I like drawing my tablet, because then I can shrink it down and then start drawing the rest of like the scene or the body or whatever, or I can zoom in and then like really.
That's
oh man, that'd be so hard.
That was the problem I was having with that sci-fi piece, is that it's drawn on 8.5 by 11, so I'm gonna blow it up to 11 by 17 to ink it. It
does also look like Lion Cat. You're right. Oh man, Saga. This is from Headless Hammerhead.
That's awesome. Good job.
Yeah, kind of going with the the title of the video theme here. Which of you has the biggest weapon? Little April. And then this is from Rich Danke.
Wow. That's really cool too. Everybody's done such an amazing job tonight.
Dude, this one is freaking awesome. I love this a lot.
Yeah.
He did a great job. I mean, that looks just polished, finished. Did fantastic on that. Speaking of small art too, I know Psychotron did some tiny artwork too. Was doing on like a like magic style card artwork. I think it was like magic style sized. So if you ever want to share that, Psychotron, that's totally up to you. But it's my segue to tell people, if you do want to share your artwork, all you got to do is send it in to us, DM us, tag us in your post or whatever you do about it. And we're more than happy to share it. We'd love to share the artwork from the community on here. And every entry does get you into our year-long competition. That's not really the main point of why we do it, but we just thought you guys are sending in so much great art. You deserve something in the end.
We're to reward you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
But the whole point is to just encourage everybody and tell them, we appreciate them making the effort to put something out and create something in the world. And
absolutely,
the more you do it, the more the better you get. So,
yeah, absolutely. One of the keystones, like cornerstones of why we started doing this show. On that note, we are at the end of our normal show, so definitely send that artwork in for next week. We're gonna have another show next Monday at 8 p.m. Pacific here on the Best Coast. Maybe it's later or maybe it's earlier, depending on where you're watching. We still love you for joining us. Or if you're watching on the rewind, hey, leave us a comment. Let us know what you enjoyed about the show. We'd love to hear about that too. If there's any topics you want to hear us cover, you also can leave a comment about that. A lot of the topics have come from viewers just like you, so we'd love to see it. Big B, do you have anything coming up this week on YouTube or anywhere else that you want to talk about?
I might be having some video. I might do some videos of the books I got. I might show off some of those classics illustrated or something too, because people seem to be a little interested to see what those look like. So
yeah, absolutely.
A lot of they're pretty rough, but
and I just dropped this week's top 5 not to buy video today. I did the tariff spawn video, which tariff in air quotes. I don't necessarily think it's all because of the tariffs. A lot of it's just inflation, I think. So you can check out a couple videos I dropped recently, and then I as promised, for the first time in the top 5 not to buy, I did drop my booty cover of the week. I'll be pulling it from the actual comic books that come out the week that I do the video. I kind of look through the listings on Cover Price for recent releases. If it's listed there, I'll pick from that list. If I know about it from like an exclusive or somewhere else, I'll show that. And then tomorrow, or maybe Wednesday, it might be a day late, I'm actually going to drop my reaction to all the top comic lists, every book. And I recorded that before I did the top 5 not to buy. I didn't look at any of the lists. I go and I log into each place, or pull up the website or whatever, and looked at each list and kind of told you what I feel, like raw and uncensored, about each book. And then you kind of see me formulating the list as I go through it. So we'll see if people think that's interesting. I figure I'm already doing that. May as well just turn on the camera and the microphone and talk about it.
Right.
So yeah. Oh, right on. Cool. I'm glad you're gonna have a new piece. Always love to see what you're working on, Trav. Your concepts and your what's the word for that? Your composition. I've really been enjoying watching where that's coming along. So keep it up, man.
He had a ballpoint pen sketch that he did the other day that he sent me. I was like, it was great.
Ooh, nice. That sounds cool. All right. Well, on that note, we're gonna end the show for tonight, and we will see you next week. You can check out Trav's new piece. Maybe I'll have some art to show off there. I am working on something for somebody right now. Maybe it'll be done in time. We'll see. And yeah, we'll catch you in the next one. Have a great night, everybody. Have a safe week. And until next time, make sure you keep reading those comic books every day.
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.